There we go. That gives us our little
walk. Welcome, everybody.
Now we get to, when we get this thing up onto YouTube, we've got your beautiful smiling face as a little thumbnail on it. So I always have to tell people, hey, okay, I need you to talk. I need you to smile. Try talking and smiling at the same time, you know.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, perfect. But yes, hello, everybody. Good evening. We're doing a special edition of the Kong Family Show today. We have the lovely Christie Connor in the house tonight, and we're celebrating. We're celebrating tonight. Woo-hoo! Today's
give yourself a hug.
Yeah, don't forget your hugs. You got to have some hugs, big hugs tonight, because it's Christie's anniversary tonight. Yay!
Is that paper or silver or gold?
Happy anniversary, baby. Got you on my mind.
I was totally thinking of that song too.
Well, you should have been, because that's exactly what comes to mind. To any music loving fool, as I guiltily associate myself with. Okay. All right. Nice. Hey, I had to get on my three-piece suit and make things happen. So, yeah, I couldn't believe it was so late. I am in the middle of some spring cleaning, if you please. So, and look at this lovely gal. Hey, by the way, she makes for nice accommodations for her demo. She's got a nice little demo scene out there at 5955.
Yeah, you don't announce my whole address to the world.
I didn't. I just kind of 5955. So yeah, it's been a year. You're a year old in your Kongan world. How does it feel? Huh?
Oh wow! I know. Yeah, a whole year. It's crazy.
Nice.
The most wildest years of my life. One of the best. It was a little challenging, but yeah, it was just really one of the best times of my life. Of what happened and occurred on many different fronts, all from water. Imagine that, people. Imagine.
You know,
I am double-fisted tonight, though, too.
Me too. I actually got my recreational beverage, and I might as well show off my college affiliation, my fanness right there. Rock Chalk, baby. Rock Chalk.
There you go.
Hey, no, listen, proud of you. Good demo we had. She's got some good people. We are really going to work together to get Helena going. You know, look, one of the things that I'm learning is I just posted up. It's funny because, and it's weird. You guys, I just posted up. I was looking through Facebook around 4 o'clock. All I'm seeing are pictures of people going through chemo. People, please pray for them as they go through chemo. And, you know, being a sincere, God-filling person, yeah, you want to pray for them. But you want to pray for them to get some sense of direction. Montana, JJ, you call it Eutardia? Man, Montana is knocking because maybe it's just we're too proud. I don't know. You know, there's so many people that give me so much love as a yuck yuck all-star, and I make them laugh and I make them feel warm and fuzzy. But when I tell them truth about what they need to hear, the vast majority of them get all dismissive and get all cranky and get all wounded about it. And it's like, I just posted an hour ago. It's sad to me to see so many people choosing the chemo route. Hey, Corolla. Hello, Rodgar.
Good to see
you. ¿Cómo está,
you.
Mi amigo gringo y gringa?
Tranquilo, y vos. Hay que mirar acá.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Canadian Crawfish Fest. Is that what's going on?
Coming in for the Christie Connor
chicken
anniversary party. Congrats and welcome.
Thanks. No, but just to finish my point briefly, look, the only people that asked questions and got challenged and got all defensive about it were from Montana. And I'm just like, how in the world can we get through to these people? And, I think it's really just a reflection of Darwinism being fully on point in today's world.
Yeah.
The strong isn't just physical strength. The strong is mental and emotional and critically thinking. That's strength. And in this day and age, it ain't just muscles that are reflecting the strong or the weak. It's the choices people make. And, I've made terrible choices along the way in my life too, but I still try and make choices that better reflect the lessons I've learned from those poor choices. You dig?
Yeah.
So anyway, had to get that off my shoulders. Blah.
Yeah, Sean,
that's
what makes this so crazy is that, I was saying that this is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life.
ever.
And the reason why it's so difficult is just because I care so much. It bothers me so much to see people suffering.
Yeah.
And, it's just so difficult when you know that you have the answer to their prayers, that you have the solution to their problem, but yet all they think is, oh, you're just trying to sell me something.
Right.
But hey, it's a $5,000 machine.
Right. Yet again, a night stay at the Chateau de Hospital is $6,000. And again, we're so mired and wired into this insurance industry who's going to pay for the pharmaceutical drugs that the medical industry is pimping on me. And they're all in bed together, and we're the ones getting screwed. At least only the stupid ones. I'm getting really candid with it. I don't care who goes where. I mean, I've found loyalty amongst family. I've found loyalty amongst people in my life that I've given a lot of love to. Been sabotaged over the last couple of years. And I'm just sitting around going, what? So instead of that, though, listen, this here, and I say they're all from Montana, and we're not all too proud and hard-headed in our own big sky arrogance, if that's what you want to call it. Because this girl sees some big, long, lanky, praying mantis-ass white boy rolling in with something, pulling out of his travel carry bag, throwing it up on her sink, hooking it up to her sink, and she's like Chester the cheetah going, aye, and she's dug on everything. And, look, Christie, I'm telling you, sister, you are, other than the life-threatening 11th hour stuff, just the chronic pain, just the stuff you were dealing with, which I hope you can kind of go into a little before and after for us, because I think your testimony is absolutely powerful. And I really want to utilize this testimony in so many respects just for people who might think like you thought. But the one thing that made you different was, what if? What if this is legit? What if this big giraffe-ass kid that I remember from high school and junior high, when he was even more of a giraffe-ass kid, is onto something? And you trusted me. You realized my sincerity was all about how this can help you. And, in all honesty, look, you've always been a cutie, but good Lord, honey, I wish you could put a picture of you up a year ago to now. I bet we would not recognize you. No, listen, I want you, will you please tell us? And listen, folks, this girl is serious as they come. She's diligent, she's quiet, she's very private, she's very personal to herself. She can cut a rug and get into it socially when necessary, but this girl doesn't mess around. She's all business. And I mean to tell you, her testimony is powerful. So share this with anybody and everybody you can that has that inkling of doubt, like, oh, geez, maybe my doctor, maybe if, it's just anybody has one inkling of doubt. I hope to goodness and I pray that this is prayer in action, that this gets people's attention. Yes. And yet what's funny, really quick, on that post, I looked through some of the, likes and, just seeing people's feedback on the so sad people choose chemo instead of other safer options. The guy that I sold this to fairly recently, who's battling with his own form of something, didn't want to go that route. I cannot wait. This brother ain't been in it maybe for a month on this water. But you're going to hear a real powerful testimony from a guy that's dealing with what we're talking about right now, man, life-threatening illness. And this guy's going to come out on top, kicking it. So, Christie, God bless you, honey. Talk to us. Tell us about things. You seem like you've kind of jumped into a phone booth on a variety of levels and come out like Hong Kong Phooey.
I don't know if phone booths exist anymore, but thank you. And I was kind of touching base with JJ about, it's funny, it's an important part about talking about, where you came from, your testimony. And quite frankly, I really hate talking about that. I don't like delving back into that. But it's important. I guess I was going to be a little generic per se, but for almost 30 years, my life kind of sucked, and I didn't really realize to what degree. And I'm not saying I wasn't blessed, because I've always been super blessed.
Yeah.
But because of pain, and never trusting and knowing if my body was going to fail, which day or at what moment, I lived in a zone of always waiting for the other shoe to drop and being very protective. And literally, I would be protective of, like, I would hold myself really rigid. Like my neck was a big problem. So I would be kind of like, tight. My knees were a big problem. And so I would kind of walk stiff-legged, or, hey, I wore 2 new knee braces for 9 months. Yeah, try to find an outfit that works well with that. That was weird. But my back.
How hard is it to get nylons over a knee brace?
I'm not a pangolin anymore. I don't need to wear them.
No.
Yeah, that would have been bad. And you just sort of felt like, and it was funny, like my niece at the water demo, when she's like, gosh, here she's been my niece for over 30 years, and she's like, I had no idea. And I really appreciated that, in the sense of that I didn't always come across as like, oh, hey, I'm a mess. I'm miserable. My family obviously knew it. And because of it, the thing that I hate the most was that my valuable time and energy were robbed. And it robbed them too, because of my ability to go do things, to be more present, to be more chipper, or to just
more active, more involved.
Positive. Exactly. And so that was really, really rough. But I was kind of thinking, a lot of it, again, was kind of joint related pain, headaches, headaches. Yeah. Man, and it's funny because, and I know how to zone out and look at you and have a conversation, but I was so busy in my head trying to keep it together and trying to focus, or just be like, yeah, nod your head a lot. So looks like you're interacting, and it really was, and that's why I don't like to talk about it per se, but I understand, because there's a lot of people in that same boat, and your aches and pains are different. It doesn't really matter if it's my neck or my back. And I literally have physical issues, especially my spinal stenosis. 50% of the spinal fluid of the normal person. That's never going to change. I have tiny little openings in my vertebrae. I don't have room for inflammation. That's never going to change. But I almost just don't even think about it anymore. And again, this 1-year anniversary was kind of cool, because it was cool for me not to reminisce about the year, because I remember all that stuff. But it was more just that, like the trophy, or, just really celebrating this day. And honestly, I think this time of day was almost literally the time of day I had my first cup or drink of Kangen water. And that's kind of cool, And so
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, me too.
Cheers, young lady. No, listen, I appreciate that. I appreciate your candidness about how it's not, whoever wants to really talk about pain, whoever really wants to talk about things they had to go through, because it just reflects that which we had to struggle and survive. And you don't like to bring it up again. But, in the essence of what we're doing and why we're doing it, I'm just thankful that you're the type of gal that's courageous enough, and all of your things that you've just described, how I described you, to be able to kind of share, and maybe with some of that, just ultimately, continue on. Like you say, you're just not caring about those things. Other things are happening. I mean, and, you could talk about the positives more than the negatives. It just, to me, it is so powerful to know, and it's so absolutely humbling to know that when, like JJ says, it's nothing but heart. It's nothing but absolute sincere conviction for people. When they listen and when they trust you and when they open their heart and their mind to the possibility that, hey, this gal that's I've known my whole life, never questioned her before, why question her now? Why question him now? And I think just hearing the things that you've talked about, man, just seeing you have evolved in this last year from the things you talked about. It's like you're not even the same person. I roll in and you got your farmer, Jane gear on, and you got your flannel jacket and your jeans and knee braces on knee braces. And, just seeing you yesterday walking around comfortably, you were just, doing your thing. It was remarkable. And, and again, that's why this is so cool to be able to have you, be able to put this together. JJ calls me last night. We're talking, I don't get to catch up with him enough. I wish I lived right next door to him. We'd probably never get anything done. Well, we probably would. But we're talking about it. And I'm like, yeah, tomorrow's Connor's first year anniversary, as he's asking me, do you got any ideas as to who we could bring onto the show? So we rocked our scene this morning with a little PowerPoint and did our normal 8:45 gig. But no, this is huge because this is really validating on so many levels. And just to see your aura, not just to see you physically walking around, but just your energy, your aura, your light is shining bright as hell. And let me ask you, now that your light's shining bright as hell, do some of those people in your world who have kind of learned to live in the darkness, are they running from you right now, or are they coming into the light with you and being exposed and vulnerable as you are?
Unfortunately, the former more than the latter.
I know.
But I've gotten used to that. And that is huge. I think it's just almost as huge as the amount of people that have, they don't feel good, discomfort, something going on. That is that mental aspect. And it really did not only hydrate my brain, which obviously helps, but not having that pain on my mind helps hugely, so all of a sudden you're kind of like free to do something different or try something new. And I think unfortunately a lot of people, it's intriguing and it's frightening, and I get that. I get that. I didn't anticipate that. Honestly, it's kind of funny because when I started the water, I really didn't know what to expect. I had tried many different routes and things, so I was pretty open to like, well, maybe this is it. Maybe this will work for me. I didn't know what it would do or what it would feel like, and I certainly didn't know it would be like this. Because it took a while. Even some days I look in the mirror and I'm like, who are you? Or just being, I want to say more like me, but it's not just me. It's like this kind of what's that word? Renovation of something beyond me,
Evolution of self.
Yeah.
Evolution of the species that is Christie Connor.
Hold on, people, you'll have to see. But it's definitely you got to find a different groove to be able to keep pressing forward with what what you believe, what you feel, and where you want to go. And conversation with folks is great in informing them, but it's sort of like, don't become a monkey on my back because I can't carry you around. Because no matter what you say, I'm going to keep going. And the reason why is obviously the effects that this has had on me. To be able to just, like, it's funny because with my knees, bending down and just like picking up something off the floor is one of the hugest to me, or I'm always kind of, I can just kind of like be all squirmed up in fetal position because I'm really flexible that way, and I tend to be that. But to be able, it's almost like when you see toddlers and people are always joking like, oh, they can put their foot in their mouth or roll around and do weird things. So it kind of makes me laugh, like I'm a toddler again.
Or how they can give themselves a high five between their shoulder blades. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
God, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Good Lord. She busted that out yesterday, and I was trying to look at her elbows to see if she had like rotors on them or something. I mean, like, what is she got? Some kind of fulcrum that's a twisty turny? It was wild. I couldn't believe it. I was like, ow. I clenched up. I was like, ah. And she didn't even blink.
Here's the other thing, though, too, is how so much energy I have. I've always kind of been like that. I haven't always harnessed it the best, or especially, I feel like I can do it way more now. And being more productive, it doesn't always have to be like super productive, but just like free. And when you think about, like, if you have all that inside of you and you physically can't do anything with it, it's like, being invited out on the dance floor and you're like, I really want to bust a move here and I can't. And it did build up a ton of frustration, which does lead to a lot of heightening your pain and your mental anguish and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, I just feel really free. And and I am pretty outgoing, publicly or with people, but it's almost just more so being able, it's hard to explain. I think some people really long for that. Just being able to be like free flowing and doing things that you think, like people are like, why are you climbing trees? I'm like, because I want to and I can, and it's like, what else am I going to do? Just drive by it and, I got to get home. Love being spontaneous. You can't even, and that's what I was kind of, and I don't mind sharing like my testimony about where I came from, because I think that's important. And it is kind of hard, somebody, like we're saying, you look at somebody and like, oh, you look like you're healthy or things are good. And a lot of us can do that really well. And that's important too, not to be, fussy crabby pants all the time. And well, it's me, but I think too, the degree, actually, I have to admit, was small, on the smaller end of really believing that this could change my life, or that this was it. It was just, I was really used to trying something because I knew to a big enough degree that I didn't want to be stuck in that. I didn't really necessarily know what it would look like, because I said too before, what was so kind of sad but real was like, I'd have like, say, 3 days that I didn't hurt. And I honestly think that was the longest in like 30 years. And sometimes it took almost the second day till I realized it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it didn't hurt, or when I went to bed. And then you're excited, but you're also like, well, this isn't going to last. And I don't want to be so let down. So I'm not going to enjoy it fully. And to me, that is super sad, that you're guarded. And
well, you feel go pain free for a couple of days. You open up the throttle and you're rocking down the highway like the Doobie Brothers, and all of a sudden another roadblock comes and you're like, Jesus, I just opened this thing up.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then that almost, you could be even that much more pissed off. Like, damn it, that's gone. And then even though you longed for that feeling that you had, you're almost like, I shouldn't have been so excited, because then it wouldn't hurt so bad. No, that I'm all mad about it. And I think we do that with a lot of things in our life. And you don't even have to be a chronic pain person to kind of be like that, to, depending on your situations, worrying about the other shoe to drop and not, and I'm still tapping really newly to the degree of embracing that. And it's, but it's awesome. There's lots of stuff that I'm like, all right, so what? And yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you this. So it's funny because, you sit here and you're talking about the physical stuff and just the things that the roadblocks you used to, you'd get a couple of days of freedom and you just feel like you want to let your hair down and head to Woodstock, because Santana's playing. And then next thing you know, you're saddled up at home going, oh my goodness, it might, rain's out, it's cloudy, you're wrapped up in a whoopee and, some movie, explain about, maybe if you could share with us, your thoughts about just not only the physical freedom, and you kind of touching on it a little bit, and maybe expand on it. Just, not only are you feeling better on a physical level, but, just your, and you always talked about your spirit being fairly spontaneous and stuff, but, you're always waiting for that foot to drop. Talk about, just the freshness of the mind. You touched on a little bit with the brain, the physiological to the mental and the perspective and how we see things. Maybe elaborate on that because, I know you, I see it. But for these people out here, that didn't really realize how guarded you were, even in the midst of, your being able to hang in any crowd and all that, just how maybe reserved they didn't know that part about you. Maybe talk about a little bit about just the mental and the, just hear how good you feel. Because you see it here lighting up like a Christmas tree. It's very obvious to me. But I want people to really understand that, you weren't necessarily always, you were just trudging along and busting detail out on duty and responsibility and accountability alone, but you weren't really digging it. Now you seem to be pretty enlightened and fresh and just like open for anything. You don't seem to be really held back. Talk about that a little.
Yeah. I just have to quit laughing that you want me to talk about my mental status. Do you have enough time?
No, just about how much better you feel about things and just your attitude, your outlook, and how much the water maybe physiologically started, but just what it's translated into.
You froze. But yeah, it again has a lot to do with it's been a year's progress. Not necessarily that entire time it took to get here, but at least 9 months. Having oh gosh, I'm not even sure if I can explain it. Again, trying to get used to I was on a super high too, and it was very exciting. People are like, wow, what's gotten into you? And look at you, you're so happy and energetic and positive. And it was great because I was really embraced, and I really embraced it. And I'm like, yeah, this is good. And that shoe, wasn't dropping. I wasn't concerned about it. And then you maybe, I don't know, onion peel or dig deeper, and you do bring up, when you talk about the mental stuff that has bogged you down, and trying to process it and not overanalyze it, but give it the attention it needs, because maybe you weren't given the chance to fully experience it or express it. And so it is kind of hard, again, like I guess going through my testimony, sometimes it's hard to quote relive that, but having to delve through it enough to put it to rest. And my gosh, it makes me kind of almost wonder how many people, if you're, you know, in a group and talking about your, the things that drag you down, that are costing you a lot during your day, whether it is your time, your emotional energy, pain, which one bugs you more? Does it bug you more that you're physically unable or in pain, you know, that your shoulder's killing you? Or does it bug you more that you're mentally really bogged down, stressed, anxiety, you know, crying, whatever it is, angry? And I don't know, I guess that answer is different for all of us. And for me, I think it's definitely the whole embodiment of it all, because, you know, I have a mind and a body. And if one's not working better than the other, kind of gets a little wacky. Not that that's ever happened. But,
It happens to all of us.
it's not so extreme. And yeah, it is. And again, I remember when you said, wait till it gets to your mind, and I thought you're teasing me, but it does. But it's a process. It's a process. I kind of have to laugh at myself at our demo. When you talked about, I don't know, just really like the light bulb, like this gives your body what it needs to do what the body already knows how to do. It's just not being allowed that. And I always use the racehorse analogy, because for me, nothing is more freeing than watching a horse ride. You know, it's full out. I mean, I cry at the rodeo all the time. Like, oh yeah, here she goes again. But it is, it's like, and then you think of him in that gait, and it's like, this is where I think of me, like, hey, yeah, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Where do I go, where do I go? But you do have your reins on, and you do have the rider guiding you, so you don't just go off, which is not bad to have that guide. And you're waiting for that gate to open. And I think so often when we are bogged down, especially mentally, wanting so bad to just bust out of the gate, make stuff happen, live life so much fuller, you know, be a goof if that's what you want to be, or, you know, mow your lawn, whatever, if it needs to be practical. But it's like when you're freaking reined in and held back, I'm sure that accentuated my pain tremendously. And it also made me shut down mentally more, because I had to preserve myself. It's tough to explain.
Survival mode.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, and I often wonder, like, does this make sense to people? I think it makes sense to those of us that are on the water. Those that are not, it may not. I guess it may intrigue them. I guess you get that whole variety of what it means. And that's what I was kind of thinking too. You know, I was, again, so appreciative to come on here and celebrate. I should have had a cake, but I don't bake, so.
I know.
I can, but was that I kind of, it's like, you know, we talked about I was going to ask people things. Do you usually make decisions on fact or faith? And I think maybe a lot of us do it to, you know, one degree or the other, but maybe I think we tend to lean towards one or the other. And I'm way more of a faith one. I would have to read more to get facts, but it's definitely gut feeling and faith. And so I kind of just feel like it's sort of one of those things, like, if you like what you see in me as far as what my energy is or what I say, then that is supposed to be the intrigue, like, of why you want to delve into it, and then bring in the other stuff. But that's just kind of my style. That's not everybody's. And so you don't always reach everybody. And you definitely don't reach everybody until they are willing, they're sick of it, that they've recognized enough that they're flipping sick of living a mediocre, I don't want to say my life was miserable, but, you know, it was misery. And when you have chronic pains, you learn how to function. And so, yeah, even your own self, you think, this isn't so bad. And then you're like, no, honey, it is. Yeah, it's intervention time. But, you're even your loved ones and whatnot, they want what's best for you, but you got to actually call up and schedule your own intervention. And just to know that a water machine can do this. And I was also thinking that, most anybody knows you can live longer without food than water. That is fact. But then it's like, hello, here's your sign. This is so much more important. And people are always constantly like, oh, I try to eat fruits and vegetables and counting calories, looking at labels, buying organic. They're going, every time I get together with people, especially like, you go out to lunch or dinner, it is so bizarre to me that we all end up talking about your food, not just the food that you are served, but like, you shouldn't eat that, or I try not to eat this, or you should do this and you shouldn't do that. It turns into like freaking 50% of the conversation. To me, that is really boring. And it's like, it's important, but you're missing the boat here. Let's do what can really get this kick started in the first place. And yeah, I guess maybe it's that car with gas but no tires, or vice versa. No tunes.
Yeah, you can get around on rims. You can get around on rims. Done it a couple of times, but I don't advise it because your braking and turning ability are rendered absolutely futile.
Right.
No, but it's cool because you might have, you talk about what you went through. You might have had, this kind of had this old jalopy. Now you seem to be kind of rolling around in a sports car, so to speak.
I don't have my top down.
This is a family show. Thank you, Golly, for that discretion.
Yes, it is. Christie, I've got how I am around here. I'm all about, because the reason I'm the way I am is because of the fact that it was something like what you're going through that literally changed my life forever. Before that particular story came out, I was the same person as all these knuckleheads that I'm always going, you guys are killing me. Wake up, but I was exactly that same way. And that's why I'm so adamant about doing this, why I take the time to do it, why I am doing everything in my power to bring this out every day, is because we just never know. It might be difficult to go back to things and rehash the things that happened, but it's always good to bring that kind of stuff up just so people can understand. Because people might be listening in on this, or they're going to be listening in down the road when we start, when this gets out there to YouTube and it's traveling all over the interweb and all that stuff, right?
What? I'm an international star.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to make you into a superstar, girl. You're going to make yourself into a superstar because it's already happening.
But just thankful I'm her agent.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have a better agent than Sean. I mean, he's the rock star of agents, But the thing is there's a journey that's taken place here, and it started at one place for whatever the reason was, and people are like hearing this and going, oh, chronic pain. Well, from what? For how? Whatever. I mean, they don't grasp it if they don't know what it is, and whatever it was you were going through, my guess is that you're not the only person around that's going through that kind of thing, that's suffering from that, and there's someone out there somewhere that may very well get the grace of God and actually get to hear this so that they can hear your story and they know, well, holy moly, that's exactly what happened to me. And if that worked for her, look at her, maybe that same thing can happen for me. So I don't want you to go too deep, but I'd really appreciate it if you would Like go back and just give people the background of where this all started a year ago. This is a year-long journey that's taken place. What kind of, where did it start? And we can see where it is now and where it's going. Where did it start?
Where is it going? That's a good question too. Yeah, it's like 1 year, I got this. What's going to happen in 5 or 10, 50? Because I am going to live to be over 100. So, well, and it's funny, and I totally appreciate that, JJ. I guess I often wonder though if people are. It was like, oh, okay. I was at 50 pounds heavier. I was in knee braces. I was on, lots of, not prescription, but lots of, pharmaceutical type over-the-counter stuff. I often wonder, I think, again, people appreciate that, but they don't see that. And that's why I also hate being like, here's before, here's after. It's like, I don't want to see that picture. So, like, I'll do it every now and again. But it's like, it's like looking at your old wedding photos. Like, I know what happened. I don't need to have it on the conference call. No offense. But so that's why I sort of was thinking on my drive home, I'm like, it's got to be the spark that they see now that is intriguing enough too. Not just, again, I'm not going to discount the backstory because people might relate, but, and maybe that's hard. Maybe people relate more to pain and misery, even if they don't address it, then like, oh, this is exciting. This is fresh. This is new. This is something hopeful and joyful. I've done that, so I totally get that. It's a lot about each individual, just it's their time. Something sparks in them that it's their time. And again, whether you go on faith or trust, I mean, on fact, I mean, if you're the type that needs to research, go research, but there's so many options. If somebody's catching this, they already kind of know all these little venues of where they can go and find more information. It's there. It's if they're willing and wanting enough to do it. And your faith, I mean, that's kind of individual per se, and your gut. And it's funny, again, I delved into so many different alternative per se things, and I did get relief to certain degrees. And learned a lot, actually. I honestly really don't even know what it was. It seems like maybe like, I don't even remember when John brought it up and what he was talking about. It's just like, oh yeah, okay. And it totally, because then I was like, yeah, I don't know. And yeah, no, I don't know. And just one night in my gut, I'm like, this has got to happen. I knew it had to be done. And everybody else, I guess, is maybe different. Their reason of why. Obviously, everybody's different. Reason of why is different. But it was just like, I got to do this. Had no idea what to expect. I did not whatsoever. And I'm glad I didn't.
Evidence of things unseen.
Better than I would have probably given it vision to,
Wow. Yeah, faith is evidence of things unseen, and you're totally talking about embodying that whole mindset. Like you said, facts can be all over the place, and facts are so subjective anymore, to be honest with you. There's so many different foundations and standards by which people base their beliefs on that they believe very heavy opinions, but there's nothing really behind it. So then it still boils back to a matter of choice and faith. Am I going to believe these facts? And some people are so obstinate, they have a hard time. You get into that cognitive dissonance. I've held on to this belief for so long, nothing you can do. Tell me this earth is round. It's flatter than a board, and, what are you going to do? But you're a wonderful example of like the hope and the possibility in people that do open their mind and do open their heart to the possibility that this could be it. Maybe this is it. What if this could do it? And it's cool. You had that gut feeling and you just realized this is something you needed to do. To me, that's powerful. And I just wish more people would trust that. They get into that mind, that psyche. We're talking about body and mind. There's so much to that. And I think to a large degree, you really reflect that in a lot of respects. And it's huge because there are so many people that really want to believe something's out there and it's possible, but then they go right back into that mode of just like what's safe and what's, comfortable and what I'm used to, part of my routine. And I just love the fact that in the midst of your 30 routine of plugging and struggling and scrapping and battling and making it happen with the smile on your face anyway, to just be able to know that now this, your smile it's light, it's fresh, it's authentic, it's, you're not having any guardedness. And I just think that is spectacular. And I just really think, and I hope that this gives people paying attention to this hope, because we're in a very hopeless world. We're in a very, God, we blame, we point fingers. It's everybody else's fault. Nobody loves me. My head's too small, whatever. We're all so insecure. We're all messed up, but it's a matter of how can we learn to understand and accept that, we can't be our authentic self unless we're vulnerable. If we're not vulnerable, the ego self, that which we want the world to see, if we're not authentic, we're not vulnerable and we don't have humility, we'll never get to the authentic self. Because the authentic self's whole house is built on vulnerability and humility and transparency. And I just think, again, at the end of the day, yours is a story of courage. Yours is a story of belief. And I know it sounds corny and like some ABC after school special movie, but it's true. It's awesome. And I just think that's why I'm so grateful to see, in people with cancer and tumors and diabetics getting off of dialysis and all these stories, yours is one of, less extreme, but nonetheless significant in terms of what you're dealing with. It might not have been life-threatening, but it was life-hindering. And to see you now climbing trees and doing Facebook Lives and stuff, man, that's awesome, man. That 12-year-old girl's jumped back into you, and, that 38-year-old body is actually accommodating her, which is cool.
Yeah, it's and what you hit on too is huge, the vulnerability. And again, we're talking about like words here, adjectives, and it's like, yeah, we hear these things, but it's like when you have to go through it or keep pushing yourself to go through it, it's a ringer. It's tough. It's rough, and it's tough because you don't want to unearth stuff, and it. But I remember a friend of mine talking to her son one day, and she's like, you know what? It's like you're standing in your own pool of shit. And the fact that you don't realize that it stinks that bad is a concern. And like, my God, that is so true. How often
That's
we
powerful.
do that. And it is tough. It takes practice. Anything takes practice. It's funny though, because like, yeah, you talk about doing the videos and stuff. I always have something on my mind most of the time to talk about. It's just freaking free flows. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. How does that happen? And it's weird too when some people are like, oh, comment in a way that's like questionable or what's gotten into you or things like that. And there's a lot of times where I'd revert back to like, oh, I need to tone it down. And yeah, I do keep that in check. I can't be totally wacky. but I also just don't need to apologize, I guess, or defend myself
Amen.
for
Amen.
being this way.
No, that's huge.
No,
I
you
mean,
need to congratulate yourself, honey. That's what you
that's
need
it.
to do.
That's
You
it.
need to be jumping for joy, doing jumping jacks, backflips, climbing trees. You know, it's
Being
kind of
wacky.
we kids, we have a human monkey here. We have, and she does it in cowboy boots.
I know. The fact that you do it in cowboy boots is even cooler.
I've only taken them off and done it in my socks once because there was not,
You know,
big buttholes. But especially when I'm by myself and I'm like, yeah, I don't need the ambulance. Last time I was climbing, the ambulance drove by and it made me laugh. I'm like, dude, you're a little early. But, no, the joy, the absolute joy that I feel just from being able to experience this whole, every part of me. And it's true. I always had a smile on my face. And I do appreciate that. But I'm smiling all the time. I mean, I'm always running around smiling. And it's just awesome. And the fact that
let me ask you something, Christie. You had all those years where you were in, you had 30 years of chronic pain, and you smiled this is what I'm getting out of it, is that you were smiling like as a defense mechanism to kind of defend yourself and your mind against what you were going through, because you didn't want people to really know that you were literally
in pain,
dying inside. You were hurting so bad, but you didn't want them to know that. So you got to smile. And, what's the difference for you now in that? Because you're still smiling the same way you were smiling before, but maybe not quite the same. What's your thought process on that and the difference between your smile then and your smile now?
It's actually really funny how you saw a picture I took, and it was literally, because I have this picture of myself when I was 5. And what's so ironic about this photo when I was 5 is I remember when we went, I think we were like at Kmart, because they used to do photos there. And so my sisters and I, we all had our photos done. And somehow I got my hands on the package of them. And I remember, this will really make this story better. I had a crib. My mom said it was for 6 years. I was in a crib for 6 years. Like, it became my little cave. Explains a few things. But I remember hiding out in my crib looking at these photos. And I thought I was so ugly. And I hated those pictures so bad that I hid them. And it's sad, like a 5-year-old. I mean, I had these little ringlets and this cute dress and this smile. And I'm like, how does a 5-year-old think that they're ugly? And so anyway, so now that photo is one of my special ones. And my smile is actually the same. I don't know if it was a defense mechanism, smiling through the pain. I guess I've always been able to smile real easily. I think it was more that it was rarer to come out than it is now. And it wasn't, sure, sometimes what I guess was disingenuous, like, hey, hi, yeah, good to see you too. But it just literally comes like deep from my heart, and that's what lights it up. And, kind of stimulates my brain, like, wow, you're actually happy. And when you think of the people that comment, like people that comment about me, there's tons of people that are always like really driven to weight loss changes, and because that's really big for them. And I do, so it's been kind of cool. I have a lot of people that are like, you're so positive. You really inspire me and motivate me. And I'm like, me? What? That's something to say. So, but I guess I would love to see people be like, you appear so happy. I don't hear that very often, and maybe that's just human nature. And to me, that would be like, drink your happy water. Not that stuff that you buy in a brown paper bag,
That's right.
Well, that actually brings something else up that I want to kind of, I'm kind of a plugger for something anything that helps change my life for the better. I like to try and introduce it to other people and give them the opportunity for it to change their life for the better. And something that's interesting is that the goal of, or the motto of Kangen Water is change your water, change your life. But when you look at what Mr. Oshiro's goals are with it, and what his steps for that basically were, is that you change your, to be truly happy, you have to have mental, you have to have physical, and you have to have financial health for you to be able to really have true health, true happiness. And one of the aspects of what I've gained from being part of the Kong family, I'm 2.5 years into it almost, and there's a big mental aspect of this company that has really shifted my life in a big way. And I found that place, and I got to go ahead and give a plug here real quick, because I know that you've been in there as well for quite some time now. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this, because I know it has drastically changed my life. Even though I'm not sharing it live on my page anymore, I'm still there. I'm still listening in. I'm still getting the benefits of it. And it's still a big, huge part of what I'm doing, because I realize that it's important. And, the whole thing in there is win the morning, win the day. You've been in there in the morning motivation meetings with Thomas Warden, and I'm going to give Thomas a big plug because I love him. I love him like he's one of my brothers. I can't wait till I get a chance to give him a big hug.
Yeah, no kidding.
Give him a plug here on the.
I'm going to give him a horse collar and
break his arms.
And I want people to know that they can get in there. They can go to zoom.us and then punch in the meeting code 419-997-2642. And you can just watch the recording, and you can get that number, or I'll put that up in the comments when we share this. But the reason I'm bringing this up, Christie, is because I'm imagining that the journey you've been on has been quite the mental battle, because somebody that's going through chronic pain because of, smaller openings in their joints or whatever the stuff, whatever your thing was, but, just going through chronic pain has got to be just the most incredible mental battle. I know I've had chronic pain with my left knee from 3 knee surgeries and bone on bone. And I know that Kangen Water has been a tremendous help in that regard. But there's still pain there, and you still have to battle that mental aspect. And I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind elaborating for our guests who might consider the idea of trying to get in every day, make the commitment to win the morning and win the day and win that mental battle that we're all fighting. And I'm curious what your story is in regards to the morning motivation, and how it's helped you in this journey along with Kangen Water. And the reason I'm plugging this here is because I wouldn't even know about the morning motivation. I wouldn't know about this information that we get every morning for free, that people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for. We get it for free. We're so blessed to be able to do that, right? But I wouldn't even know about that place if it wasn't for the fact that Brittany's story shifted my mindset. So I got involved with the family, and that's how I ran into the morning motivation and winning the morning and winning the day. What part has that played over the last year in your transformation and your just incredible shining light? Because like in the video that I'm seeing right now, there's a light right up behind your head, and it's like shining like it's making you more of an angel than maybe that you even are. Like it looks like a real live angel on the screen. And so how has that helped you? How is it? What's your thoughts on that? Just would you recommend that other people do it? Would you, just like you're recommending people get their Kangen water for sure. What about their
Personal growth.
What do you think about that? What do you have to say about that? How has that helped you?
Well, definitely. And like you say, there is, we're multifaceted. We are a superior creation that is not, I suppose in certain ways it's simple, but it's very complex. And all parts of it need to be fed. And it is actually, I'm on it because you told Sean and Sean told me, and then a bunch of other people are using, conditioner and the shampoo ad. Okay. But anyways, it was really funny because I was really, I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool at first. And I was resistant. I'm sort of a skeptic or, pain was my badge of honor, and it was my strength, because if I could endure, and I think that's why a lot of times things I do, I've allowed it to be a struggle, because the more I struggled, oh man, the more important it was, or this was going to be even better once I got through it because I struggled so hard. And things that didn't have to be like that, but that became my mindset. And I've always been kind of weird, like I obviously really enjoy like sayings, like a lot of things people post or watching something inspirational, but I hate to turn it, I would hate for me to let it just be a tagline, because it's like, unless you embody that and live it out, it's a tagline. So don't be telling other people about it. But yet there's a lot of times sometimes you have to keep putting that out because that's what you want. That's what you really, really want deep down. And you have to keep reminding yourself. And I feel like a greater responsibility of where I'm at, like getting to a point where people do look towards me for inspiration or knowledge or truth about something. I do have to make sure that I'm practicing that. I'm not perfect, but I catch on it really quick and be like, oh, I'm an idiot.
You're walking your talk.
Yeah. And so, no, I love that group. And the other thing is I've just got that on my radar, like, it's time to get up, do it. And a lot of times I'm still running around and, taking a shower and just doing my exercises. And so I don't actually get on per se, but
you're listening.
It's a huge part. But yeah, that group. And here's the other thing, guys, really to sum it up too. I mean, look at the family we have here, the group, and people that do relate, obviously stick in their group, in the sense that building each other. Of course, we want to keep branching out, but maybe the bigger our tribe, the more like, yeah, we want to go to that place. And they got it going on. Let's join that fun party.
Who wants to go to a boring party?
Right? And it's not about just being in the in crowd. I mean, this is way better and much, more rewarding.
Because it's authentic, it's sincere, and it's all built on the belief of building each other up, lifting each other up, and that's huge. No, that's a great point. God, you're an insightful little kitten, aren't you? Well, that's all right. We like that here. We like to be enlightened at Jedi-like ways here on the Kong Family Show.
I got lots of stupid info I could share with you too, but I'll say that for another day.
Right. Yeah. No, you're beautiful. I just really appreciate you sharing that. Your story is just getting started, I think that's the neat thing about it. It's been a year and so much has taken place, but you're still kind of joggling through traffic, trying to find the open road. And the fact that you got a little more gas in your ride, you got a little more savvy in your oil with your engine, you're purring down the road a little more in detail, a little more savvy about things. And I think that's what's cool. And I think that's the reflection and hope that I think you can't help but project to people out there. in their despair, and they're sitting back and afraid. You know, some people, you're talking about the horse gate, that gate flies open. So many people are afraid of that gate firing open because they don't know what to do.
Where to go. Mm-hmm.
Now, that might have been you back in the day, but now you're chomping at the damn bit, pun intended, thank you, and you're ready to bust loose like Richard Pryor, you know? Well, not quite like Richard Pryor. I'm just talking about the movie Bustin' Loose, but like Richard Pryor busted loose, God rest his soul. I wish I could have got that cool old brother on some congan. He'd be like my uncle for life. I know he would.
Yeah.
But no, it's just neat to see the bridle come off, and you know, not dealing with all this stuff, and you're just out there getting more and more comfortable with this new sense of self. Again, before my internet went haywire, you're like a freaking caterpillar that cocooned up, and you are just now starting to bust out of that thing, and you ain't even really taken flight yet. Just to starting to see the wings and to starting to see this new creation in this sense. Obviously, you're your old self, but you're growing, you're evolving, you're becoming something that maybe doubt, fear, situations, circumstances over the years inhibited you from. And just to see you busting into that mojo you're busting into now, it's pretty cool, Mo D, you know what I mean? How you like me now?
And you know what? I heard this really cool program about the cocoon analogy, but what they talked about was what happened in the cocoon. And to me, that was one of the coolest things ever. It was dark, and you know, things are changing. You can't see it, you feel it. Maybe it's painful. You don't know where you're going, when it's going to open. And it went on further and further, but that really hit me. It was like, yeah, that was, and maybe that's kind of what a lot of this year has been about, you know, being in there and having to go through all that. And yeah, and I don't know where I'm going to go. And to a degree, I don't care, in the sense like it'll happen. Yes. And it's usually not me. So I love that. It's freedom. It's freedom.
Oh, huge. Yeah. Huge. Hey, JJ, get her information out there. We got to get people who need to know how to, if they want to track her down. Go ahead, bust her with your final closing question on how do we track this sister down?
Yeah, for the one of the big things here is we want to unite people. We want to help people who resonate with each other. We want them to be able to get together with the people that they mesh with, because we never know who's going to mesh with who. We never know who's going to be watching this down the road, and they might have the exact same situation. They might be listening to this and going, holy moly, this is exactly what I've been going through. Maybe there is hope. Maybe this is the answer to my prayers. Maybe I should get a hold of this incredible lady and see if maybe she'll work with me, see if she'll help me learn what she's learned and do what she's doing. And for those people that want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? And before you give that information out, I want to encourage these people, let these people know, look, if you're going to send Christie a Facebook message or a friend request, or send her an email or something like that, you know, please just have the common courtesy to tell her why, tell her how you found her, why you're getting in touch with her, because if somebody as awesome as her is probably getting all kinds of friend requests, and she can't just friend up with everybody. That's just not how it works. And plus,
a lot of hackers out there.
There's a lot of scary people out there, and so don't be a scary person. Send her a message. It's like, for me, I never, ever send a friend request without sending a message along with it that says, hey, Bob, this is JJ. I saw you on Sam Chan, or I saw you here, I saw you there. And man, I had to send you a friend request because what you said was awesome, and I wanted to you know, hook up with you. So how do they get a hold of you, Christie? Whatever information you'd like to give out, please feel free to give that out so that people can know how they can hook up with the great Christie Connor. And Sarah Connor ain't got nothing on this girl.
Okay. That's quite the setup there, JJ. I love you. I guess
Don't we all?
Facebook. Uh, I think I have my email on there. Email's good. So that would be christieconnor.cc@gmail.com. And because that sometimes I'm not really available on my phone, but I am email a lot. That'd be a good start.
And what about Facebook? How can they, do you want people to hook up with you on Facebook?
Oh yeah, it's just at Christie Connor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just in case they can't see the spelling of it, you want to spell that out for them?
Yes. So it's CHRISTIECONNER.
Awesome.
Between the two, you can get it wrong a million ways. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Definitely.
So, Christie, I've got another question for you. Just a quick question. We have that goal of changing the world. Now, would you say, because we truly believe that the Kong family is going to change the world. And I'm curious what you, because I know that it's changed my world in a huge way. It's changed your world too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And with it having changed your world as drastically as it has changed mine, what final message would you say to people today on your 1-year anniversary of being involved with the Kong family, the day that you threw it off, you flew up, put on that flight suit, and you just jumped off that cliff, and you're on that ride with that suit and flying through it all.
Flying squirrels.
Flying squirrels, exactly. Climbing trees, all that stuff, you know. Has it, what's the final parting message that you would like to give out to our audience on your 1-year anniversary of this journey?
I guess it would be a personal one of you need to really stop and look in the mirror and realize how bad things are. And yeah, you're surviving, you're getting through, but is that really how you want to keep going? And quit getting in your way and being so afraid of thinking there's something better out there for you. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate of why I'm at where I'm at. Not just what a year ago, but where I'm at now. And the whole journey along the way. And, you know, I guess to me, that's key. It's root. If people can do that, yeah. And, you know, there's so many options out there.
It's so interesting how so much of this stuff resonates day to day.
Take that to the bank, folks.
Yes.
Good Lord, you can't get any more candid than that.
Yeah, and you know, it's like that
You're
meme.
a rock star with this, man. I'm telling you. I mean, you're going to be, like I said, I'm kidding around about being your rock star agent, but man, listen, whatever JJ, whatever we can do to facilitate you getting onto the tarmac and you spinning around, getting into your lane to take flight, what can we do to accommodate that? I'm telling you, you're going to be a diamond, man. I mean, you already are, and it's a matter of time. And, you know, all those people that have taken a little weird approach to your newfound sense of self and your new light, let them stay in the dark. You know, maybe somewhere down the light, you're going to give them enough courage through your example and through your testimony that they're going to all of a sudden pop out of nowhere 3 years from now and say, God, I want to come with you. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of strength, that's the kind of courage, that's the kind of character that you have just revealed yourself to be in front of the world tonight. And I can't tell you, just brother to sister style, how freaking proud of you I am. Because I know you're social, I know you're cool, but I know you're private, and I know you're, you know, and you're a lady. that's the thing, man. You're not. I'm just really thankful for the powerful nature of your testimony tonight and what it can hopefully possibly do, because it's changed my world, it's changed JJ's world, it's changed your world, and you're just getting started, man. So I mean, anything we can do at any level for you, we're here, sister, because you're a diamond in the rough, man. And I just swear, yeah, you were talking about a year. Well, 5 years. I can't wait to see where you are along the way, and be a part of that ride. And I'm really humbled and thankful for your trust, for your belief in the possibility, for yourself. And again, I was just a messenger. Sometimes we that hook people up with these machines, people are so profoundly moved, they give us the credit. And all I ever do is I always tell people I was just a messenger, man. I just shared with you something that I threw you a pass that you were either going to catch or you're either going to miss. And most people are batting it down or turning around and running away from it, catching it in the back of the head because they're afraid to catch it. I threw you a pass and you threw your flypaper spidey paws out there and grabbed it, and you've been running with it for a year. And your powerful testimony is going to make the difference in lives of people. I know it is, man. And I can't thank you enough. Speaking on behalf of our Kong family show, I cannot thank you enough for sharing that with us tonight.
Yes,
Truly.
absolutely. And Christie, what you just said there in your final message, that really hit me pretty good and hard, because this morning I saw a meme come through. I'm not sure who put it out at this point, but it was something that I just absolutely had to share. And it was one individual saying to another individual, and the one individual was saying, what should a person do? Something like this. What should a person do in life? Or, what's the one thing that every person should do in life? And the answer from the other person in the meme was live.
Live.
And that really hits me hard. And, this is an awesome special edition of the Kong Family Show, having you on here, doing it a little bit of a special time. And I think it's deserving, because of what you just said, I think it's deserving to end this thing with a quotation from my nicknamesake. Because I think this woman was a lot like you are, very brave and very powerful. And she made a statement that this is a paraphrase, but it's pretty dang close. And it's certainly close enough to deliver the message. But it hits right smack dab as to what you just said as a parting message. So I think it's fitting to put this out there from Helen Keller. She said, "Security is mostly a superstition. It is not found in nature, nor do the children of men experience it as a whole. Avoiding danger in the long run is no safer than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing." Helen Keller.
Wow.
What you just said as your parting comments, what that meme said this morning, kids, don't be afraid to live. You have the ability to live. Quit letting people tell you that you don't. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you can and you will. And this incredible angel who just came on this show tonight with us, she is living proof that people can change their life in so many ways. She's living proof of how Kangen water helps the human body heal itself, which allows people to be able to go live. Think about it, kids. Think about living. Don't just think about being alive, because there's a double buttload of people out there running around in the world who are alive, but they never get a chance to live. And when that time comes that they're sitting on that bed and they're ready to pass to the other side, they have all this regret, wishing that they would have done this, they would have done that. I wish. Kids, Don't wish. Do. Do like Christie Connor. Take the jump. Have faith in yourself. You can. You can do it. Is that right, Christie? You agree?
Yeah, yeah, you can. You can. You just gotta want to.
Amen. To all of you who are watching this, who are in here, thank you so much for being here. Corolla, great seeing you. It's always awesome to see you here, beautiful lady. And, you know,
Thank you, guys.
I love you so much, buddy. Thank you so much for everything you do to help facilitate this program and help us bring these awesome people into the house so that we can share this incredible journey with people, because we have this really special, simple goal, right? We just
Amen,
want
bud.
to change the world. How are we going to do that again, kids?
One glass,
glass at a
of
time.
water at a time.
One light.
No, you're beautiful. Thank you, JJ. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Christy.
Yes.
Thank you, Corolla and Rodgar, for being on here with us. You crazy, beautiful Canadians. We love you guys. Yeah, there you are. Hey, beautiful. Hey, we're really grateful for you guys. We're really grateful for what we have going on here. We've got something going here. We've got something that's really starting to get people's attention. And I'm just really happy to be along for the ride in the co-pilot seat from time to time. Every once in a while, my knucklehead little kid butt likes to get in the back and look out the back window. But, you know, I just appreciate the fact that we've got ourselves a smooth ride of truth and empowerment for people. And anyone out there really trying to make a change, to make a new direction, to reach out and go for something that they've never gone before, look, our health and our wellness demands it. And that's all I can say. We're on to something. And I can't wait for all you guys hanging out in the bleachers to come out on the court with us and grab a rock. We'll pass you the ball. I guarantee you. And when you hit that first jumper and you hear that net splash, you're going to frickin' love it, because there ain't no better feeling than making that happen. So we're doing it. You just made this a really fantastic show. I can't wait to share it with a lot of our peers. I hope they take the time to dig in on this, because we're on to something, and I can't wait to continue to share it.
Yes.
So thank you, guys.
As usual, of course, do not forget your hug. Yes.
HoooDeeHoooooo!
Love you guys so much. Have yourselves an awesome evening.
guys.
And we'll
Thanks,
see you
Christy,
tomorrow.
JJ, John.
Love you. You're
Thank
welcome. Our pleasure. My pleasure. It's a gift and a blessing. Thank you,
God
kid.
bless you, bud.
All right.
God bless you
All
all.
right, guys. Giddy
Bye
up.
bye.
Bye-bye.
We
But now.
HoooDeeHoooooo!
can